Hi, we are from At Home Tuition. In this video, we are going to see bars with a difference. That is, we are going to see about histogram in detail with an example. And also, we will be doing one more example in which histogram will be given. We want to analyze that histogram and we want to answer the questions based on that histogram. First, we will see histogram in detail with an example. So, solution. Let us see how to represent the data given in the table as a histogram. So, now let's consider the following grouped frequency distribution table. So, this table gives the details of marks obtained by 60 students in a subject. The marks scored are for out of 50. So, the marks scored out of 50 are denoted in the class intervals, that is from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and 50 to 60. We know that if a student scores a mark 50, it should go in the upper class limit, not in the lower class limit. So, for that reason, we are taking the class interval 50 to 60. Okay, and this frequency represents the number of students who scored the marks in the interval 0 to 10. Okay, so totally we have 60 students. How to represent this table in a histogram? To represent the data in the histogram, first we have to decide the x-axis and y-axis content. So, whatever you go for graphical representation, you will have two axes, x-axis and y-axis. So, first step is we have to decide the contents in y-axis and x-axis. So, for the given table, let us take marks obtained, that is class interval in x-axis and the number of students, frequency in y-axis. So, the marks obtained, we will call it as class interval and the number of students, we will call it as frequency. Now, we are taking that class interval in x-axis and frequency in y-axis. So, in x-axis, we have taken the values from 0 to 60 because marks is obtained is out of 50, but one student scored 50. So, we cannot put it in the lower class interval 40 to 50. So, we are taking the class interval 50 to 60. So, our class interval value ranges from 0 to 60 and we are taking it in the order of 1 unit as 10 marks. Okay, in y-axis, the frequency range varies from 1 to 21. So, if you look into the table, see 1 is there, 7, 19, 21, 10, 2. So, the lowest is 1 and the highest is 21. So, it varies from 1 to 21. So, now we are taking it in the order of 1 unit as 2 students. Now, let us draw the histogram from the given table. So, you know that if you draw a graph, you will have x-axis and y-axis. So, in x-axis, we have taken the class interval. So, the class interval varies from 0 to 60 with the class width of 10. So, now we are taking 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. It represents the marks of the students. In y-axis, we represent the frequency, that is the number of students. We are taking 1 unit as 2 students. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 because we have up to a maximum limit of 21. I am writing here up to 22. So, it represents number of students. 1 unit represents 2 students. Okay, 0 to 2. So, here it represents 2 students. So, now I am going to mark the graph. So, 0 to 10 is the first class interval and the frequency is 2. So, in the 0 to 10 class interval, I have marked the frequency 2 here. Okay. The next class interval is 10 to 20. So, here the frequency is 10. So, the next class interval here is 10 to 20 and the frequency is 10. Similarly, the third class interval is 20 to 30 and the frequency is 21. And the next class interval 30 to 40, the frequency is 19. And then 40 to 50, it is 7. And then 50 to 60, it is 1. So, I have marked all the given table in the graph. So, now if you look into the graph, all the width of this bars will be uniform because the class interval is uniform class interval. All the difference is same. So, next this height of the bar represents the frequency of the class interval. Also, we are seeing that there is no gap between the bars because all the class intervals are continuous. If you look here 0 to 10, again 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and so on, like 50 to 60. So all the class intervals are continuous. So there is no gap in between the bars. So this method of graphical representation of data is called histogram. And in this histogram, the horizontal axis represents the class interval and the vertical axis represents the frequency. Next question is, from the bars of this histogram shown, answer the following questions. What do jagged or broken lines indicate? What do bars indicate? What do height of the bars indicate? What do x-axis indicate? How many teachers are of age 45 years or more but less than 50 years? How many teachers are of age less than 35 years? Now first step, we want to analyze the given histogram. So this graph is called as histogram because here the bars have continuous in the class interval. Okay. So now the bar represents age of 25 teachers of a school. So the number of teachers is 25. It's represented here. And then age of the 25 teachers. So here it is. Age of the 25 teachers is represented in x-axis and the number of teachers is represented in y-axis. Okay, so now first question is, what do jagged or broken lines indicate? So this jagged or broken lines is this line. So this line is called as jagged or broken line. So this line is shown in the horizontal line from 0 to 20. Horizontal axis 0 to 20, we have a jagged or broken line. So this indicates that numbers are not shown from 0 to 20, but it is understood that the numbers are there. Why we are not showing is, we are not using the data range. Okay, so we are not using this data range from 0 to 20, but we are considering that range. So in order to make the graph simpler, we are not showing that range in the graph. Okay, so anyway, if you draw a graph, it should be of equal width. Okay, it starts from 0. So for that reason, we are starting from 0, but we are not showing in the graph. So this line is called as jagged or broken line. Next question is, what do bars indicate? Bars shown are of equal width with no gap in between. Since the class intervals are continuous, the bars are placed with no gaps, and also the class intervals are continuous. The next question is, what do height of the bars indicate? The height of the bars gives the number of data items in a particular group, that is class interval, and it indicates the frequency. What do x-axis indicate? So x-axis indicates the value of class interval, that is 5 years in each case, say 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, then 35 to 40, 40 to 45 and 45 to 50. Okay, then how many teachers are of age 45 years or more but less than 50 years? So for this we have to see the given bar graph. So now we have to see the class interval between 45 to 50 because they have given 45 years or more but less than 50 years. So we have to see the class interval 45 to 50. So in the bar graph, the frequency, that is number of teachers, is graphed against the class interval age in years. So for the class interval 45 to 50, the frequency is 5. That is the age 45 to 50, the number of teachers is 5. So thus there are 5 teachers are of age between 45 years or more but less than 50 years. Next question is, how many teachers are of age less than 35 years? So now we have to see the class interval between 20 to 35, that is age less than 35 years is given in the graph against the number of teachers. So in the bar graph, frequency, that is number of teachers, is graphed against the class interval age in years. So for the class interval 20 to 25, the frequency is 4. For the class interval 25 to 30, the frequency is 5. And for the class interval 30 to 35, the frequency is 6. So the total number of teachers is 4 plus 5 plus 6, that is 15. So thus there are 15 teachers are of age less than 35 years. Hope you have understood both the questions well. Thank you for watching the video.